Hi, let's know more about poliovirus. Polio, or known as another name of poliomyelitis, is a disabling and life-threatening disease caused by the poliovirus. The virus spreads from person to person and can infect a person's spinal cord, causing paralysis. It usually affects children under 5 years of age. We now know that poliomyelitis is caused by three serotypes, which is poliovirus 1, poliovirus 2, and poliovirus 3. These viruses are non-enveloped single-stranded RNA viruses which classified in the genus of enterovirus and a family of Picornaviridae. Immunity to one serotype does not confer immunity to the other two. Type 2 wild poliovirus was declared eradicated in September 2015, with the last virus detected in India in 1999, while Type 3 wild poliovirus was declared eradicated in October 2019. Only Type 1 wild poliovirus remains. Now, let's check the symptoms of polio. Polio is highly infectious. Most people who get infected with poliovirus will not have any visible symptoms. About 1 out of 4 people with poliovirus infection will have flu-like symptoms that may include fever, tiredness, nausea, headache, sore throat, and stomach pain, although these symptoms will usually go away in 2 to 5 days. Next, about 1 to 5 out of 1,000 will develop more serious symptoms that affect the brain and spinal cord, like paresthesia, which is the feeling of pins and needles in the legs, meningitis, which is infection of the covering of spinal cord and brain that occurs in about 1 out of 25 people, and also weakness in the arms, legs, and that occurs in both about 1 out of 200 people with poliovirus infection. Paralysis is the most severe symptoms associated with polio because it can lead to permanent disability and death. Between 2 and 10 out of 100 people who have paralysis from poliovirus infection die because the virus affects the muscle that helps them to breathe. Now let's check how the virus is transmitted. The virus is transmitted through person-to-person contact, through the fecal-oral route, or less frequently by a common vehicle like contaminated water or food, and multiplies in the intestine from where it can invade the nervous system and cause paralysis. Although there is no cure for polio, there are 2 types of vaccine that can prevent polio. The first is inactivated poliovirus vaccine, or IPV, given as an injection in the leg or arm, depending on the patient's age. The second is oral poliovirus vaccine, OPV, which is still used throughout much of the world. Let's talk about the outbreak in Malaysia. Before, Malaysia was declared free of polio in 2000, but the first case was reported on December 18, 2019 after 27 years of being polio-free. A child from Tuaran, Sabah was confirmed to be infected with a vaccine-derived poliovirus type 1. A polio prevention and control efforts were in full swing and continued although the country was hit with COVID-19 pandemic. According to the news, a total of 4 children were confirmed of having polio in Sabah. The State Health Department provided 2 doses of bivalent oral polio vaccine type 1 and 3, and 2 doses of monovalent oral polio vaccine type 2 that were administered to the mouth. Malaysia was then declared polio-free again by WHO on September 10, 2021. As of June 14, 2022, this is a map that shows the latest number of wild poliovirus 1 and circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus cases in each affected country. As a conclusion, we must always stay vigilant of polio as there are still countries that are infected with polio. The Health Ministry plays an important part in keeping Malaysia polio-free with acute flaccid paralysis, AFP surveillance, and quality environmental surveillance so that any polio case will be easy to detect. Remember, vaccines save lives.